All right, good evening, guys. Wow, it's Thursday night. It doesn't feel like Thursday night,
Oh no.
but it's Thursday night, and well, we've got some news. We got some things we got to talk about. So, we've got a lot of things to cover. Lots of things have been happening here at Disney World. World of Disney's been opening up. Lots of things, and we decided, you know what? It's best that we invite people from our Facebook page, from Instagram, to come over to YouTube. Let's talk about this stuff live. I want you guys to jump in, get into the chat, start asking questions, and we can see what we've got. What I'm going to do is, before we really get into it, is I want to first, I'm going to come over here and make sure that our guys over in Instagram land are aware that we are on, so they can join as well. So give me just a second with that. I don't know if you guys saw our video from yesterday. World of Disney had its first official Disney-owned and operated stores open up. And we had a chance to do that yesterday. That was a lot of fun. It was very chaotic, very chaotic. I mean, what was your thought? I mean, did you enjoy it, even though it was kind of crazy?
I liked it, but it was very crazy. So there was, there were a lot of people, especially when you consider the fact that there are no tourists right now. And a lot of frustrated people, honestly. I think a lot of people came and just expected they would just be able to walk into the store when they got there. So it was no big deal to us. We were there for the experience, but yeah, it was, and in the end, it worked out for us. We had some fun in the store, and it was a novel thing to be able to actually be in the world of Disney.
Merchandise.
There was tons of merchandise, and there were not many people because they limit capacity. So it was really nice to be able to leisurely shop and not worry about being on top of someone else. Because even before this whole change in circumstances, it was kind of a pain to shop in there because it was always wall-to-wall people, and you'd have to kind of jostle around just to be able to see all the things you want to see. So that was not a problem. Got to check out really quickly, so that was cool.
Oh, well, after all of the stuff that they did, they extended the queue for everything, and yet we were the only people in that entire line.
Yeah.
It went around the corner, and yet there was just nobody else was there. It was kind of funny. It wasn't funny, but you know what I mean. It was funny.
Diana Stein wants to know if they had any Baby Yoda. Yes, they did have Baby Yoda. They had the little Baby Yoda plushes, which they were adorable, and they had lots of Mandalorian merchandise. Most of it, I will say, was merchandise we had already seen.
Yeah, it wasn't anything majorly new.
So there wasn't anything new like that, but they did have the child in plush form, which was a new addition. So that was really cool to see.
We found him in a couple places.
He was everywhere. Yes, they had a lot of them, so that was really cool. We enjoyed that for sure. Hello, Connie. Connie says she loves our videos. We love making videos for you guys, especially right now, because there's not even the possibility of meeting all of our friends in the parks right now. So this is the
We'd love to see you in the parks, but I'll see you on the YouTube. So this is unusual for us, but this is something we really want to start doing a lot more. It gives us a chance to be able to give you guys a lot more information. I would love for you guys to be able to come in, chat, ask questions, for we know. How's it going, Tremaine? How you doing? I know you're probably excited about waiting for Disney Cruise Line to open up as well as much as we are.
I want to go on a Disney cruise.
We've got to redo our cruise,
guys. We still haven't rescheduled just because they kept, as agents, we kept hearing, cancel, and we kind of have our ear to the ground, and we don't want to reschedule and then have it canceled again because that's just really a bummer. So, we're just
How many times can you reschedule and not fill us down?
We're in a holding pattern.
We're waiting for the official Disney Cruise Line announcement of when they're going to start. We're hoping August. Please, August. So we'll see what happens.
And as we discussed last week, we're excited about Disney, but before Disney, we are going to get to go to Universal, and that's kind of cool. It won't be a Disney park, but we're going into a park, and we've always loved Universal. I've always been a huge movie fan, so there are quite a few rides in Universal that are for movies that
when you
I
haven't been on a roller coaster in 3 months, it doesn't really matter. Yes. I'm ready to go. Yes. So we are excited about the fact that next week Universal is going to be opening it up. June 1st and 2nd is going to be for the internal team members as they get prepared. 3rd and 4th, we're still waiting for details on what's going to be available for special invited guests. We're hoping that maybe as premier pass holders, we'll get some information about that, but it has not been released as of yet.
Universal, call us.
And if we go, Universal, give us a ring. We're ready to go. We want to help you cut that ribbon. But we're gonna be hitting there at least if we can by the 5th. Nova, who's on the floor over here, is just going to be chewing on her bone as usual.
Yes.
She's found the bone, and if you hear the chomp chomp, it's not me chewing on gum or anything. So what we wanted to talk about, and we're kind of not really stalling, but we're hoping a few more people can jump on there because we just shared it on Facebook. We just shared it on Instagram. If you've got some friends who want to go to Disney World this year, if you know they've got a trip, let me go ahead and just stress this. Take the link that we have for this live video,
yes,
and please share it. This is not going to be high quality here. We want to. This is our first streaming that we've done at home like this. We want to get bigger. We want to get better. But this is information that we can't wait until that happens. We got to share it with you now. So first of all, Dinah wants to know: as travel agents, don't you get first information?
We
sometimes.
do sometimes. And sometimes, as we've discussed previously, for us, information a lot of times is kind of like a VIP tour at Disney, where you might get different answers on stage than off stage. Sometimes we know things that we're not allowed to share, we're not authorized to share. And we are going to follow those rules because we love Disney, and
we want to follow the rules because we want to be professional in what we do.
Yes,
and just like the
exactly.
VIP tour guides who, if you take the Keys to the Kingdom tour, the Magic Kingdom, they will tell you. If you ask me on Main Street during the tour, I may give you one answer. And if you ask me in the utilidors, that same question, I may give you a separate answer.
Yeah, so
and I tested that. I tested that during the last time with the Keys to the Kingdom.
And he did get a different answer on
two
the
different
question
answers.
one time.
So
There may be information that we have that we're not privy to yet. Also, here's the other thing. So a lot of times information, especially if it's leaked, is not completely accurate, or they've changed. So oftentimes in the end, Disney is making a lot of changes to plans. Things are getting finessed.
So even though we hear something, sometimes we're really
out.
quick to say, look, let's not go this too quickly until we know that it's not going to change any.
Boogaloo
So-
Trip, you are awesome. Thank you so much
Oh,
for
Boogaloo,
that.
thank you very much. Appreciate that.
That is amazing.
That's a
Thank
super
you.
chat, by the way,
Yes,
guys.
thank you.
For those who don't know, as far as YouTube goes, you can actually support us and provide a super chat. Those donations go. We put it right back into things we can do for the channel. So
That's
thank you
right.
so much. Appreciate that.
Thank you so much.
And so we're going to share, we're going to talk about some things now about what is happening at Disney, what's going to happen with reopening. And it's going to make some big differences and changes in how the world's going to happen.
Yes.
No pun intended, the world. But the world as we know it's going to change for the time being. So let's go through this. Let's talk about this. And I want you guys to ask questions and let me know what are you thinking about it, what you may want to learn more information about, so that as we go through these, we don't miss some of this stuff and we can kind of flesh it out as much as possible.
And right now we're just talking general information. If you guys are anywhere on the internet right now, you're going to see a bunch of chatter about some stuff that was up briefly and then yanked right back down. And we were told it was yanked back down because it was not correct. So let's just assume for the moment that there is data that going around right now that is not accurate. So you guys, just so you know, we're not going to talk about that specifically right now because
but as soon as we get the green flag,
on the accurate information,
we're going to be throwing that at you as well.
Yes.
And if for whatever reason we get that green flag while we're on here live, you guys
Yeah.
are going to be the first ones to hear it.
The reason you don't have my full focus right now, and I'm looking at screens off this way.
We're going to be
is
looking at
because
all kinds of stuff here because
I
we're
am
waiting for some of this stuff.
constantly
So let's kind of talk about first the things. Let's talk about general information. As far as I know, the reopening plans that Disney submitted to the Orange County Economic Recovery Task Force yesterday at the 10 a.m. meeting
Yes.
has been approved by the mayor. It's gone on to the governor. I do not believe that DeSantis has approved it as of yet.
No, but we do not expect him to
didn't-
not approve it.
I fully expect it should go quickly.
We expect it to go through. It has not been confirmed, though. So obviously it's pending final confirmation and approval.
But as soon as that happens, Disney's going to be putting it all over the place. So we'll know. Let's see. I got a question. Skipper Bob, do you think Orange County or state of Florida might tell Disney not yet? Already the mayor has already put a stamp on it. They already did the tours this past Tuesday. of all the parks and what they were looking for. I fully anticipate, especially given the governor's stance on things and listening to what the governor's talking about, the governor's ready to go.
Yes.
The governor may offer to come down here and open the park himself.
Yeah, he's
So
had good things to say about Disney already. We'll have to wait and see, obviously, but we don't see it not going through. So if it doesn't go through, I will be shocked.
Yeah, that'd be crazy. Because so far, Universal's went through like that.
Yeah, and they had, they were...
Gatorland was approved.
Yeah,
Legoland's going in June 1st. SeaWorld's got its plans are right now
June
in the same way,
11th,
June 11th.
yeah.
So all of this stuff is going pretty quickly. We already know that we're going to have Icon Park is going to be opening up here soon as well. And we're hoping that maybe as things open up, we may be able to swing by and check these places out, maybe for the first time, not for ourselves, but to share with you guys. So we're going to try to expand as much as we can with everything we can do here in Central Florida. So let's talk about just the basic stuff that was put into the plans. First of all, we're talking about a phased reopening.
Yes.
That means that as of now, if plans don't change, July 11th. And what day of the week is that again? I'm trying to remember.
July 11th is...
I got to check that out because I want to make sure. I love to know the day of the week.
July 11th
even though I don't know what day of the week it is
a
right now.
Saturday.
That's kind of interesting. Okay,
Yeah.
So on July the 11th, this is Saturday, the Magic Kingdom and not Hollywood Studios, Animal Kingdom Park.
Yes.
That's MK and AK. That's an easy way to remember it.
There you
MKAK will be opening up on July 11th. Only those two parks. A lot of people have been coming back to us and saying, well, why only two parks? There could be for any number of reasons. I think it has a lot to do with the fact that they have a lot of parks, a lot more going on than some of the other resort areas. And so maybe they just want to check things out, see how things go in preparation. I think it has nothing to do with it, but I think it's interesting that both Epcot and Hollywood Studios are on the Skyliner. Has nothing to do with it, but
Could
knows?
be or could be nothing.
Who knows?
I would also, their parks are large and they have a lot of cast members that work and they are going to be needed to be trained. And I would say that opening 2 parks instead of 4 allows them to work out some of those bugs. I know that they already opened Shanghai Disney, but we have a very different
it's a different culture,
culture here.
Everything that happens here cannot exactly be the same.
Yeah, so I think they just want to make sure everything goes well and that they're doing everything as they should. And opening 2 parks at a time allows them to do that better. And I would point out, because we were having conversations with some of our agent friends about the fact that they do not currently have plans to open any of their water parks.
Which is interesting enough because I noticed on my Disney Experience they actually had water park dates listed for the 11th right now.
Well, there's just not a lot of accuracy on the My Disney Experience right now as they're updating it. But the thing to remember is that even without opening either of their water parks, they're still opening one more park than either Universal or SeaWorld. So they are going to have their hands full. So
we talked about MK,
yes,
AK, both opened up Saturday.
Yes.
The following Wednesday, the 15th, is when you're going to have the next 2 parks jump in. That's going to be Epcot and Disney's Hollywood Studios.
Yeah.
So at the 11th, 2 parks. By the 15th, all 4 parks. Just off the bat, that is information that's really important so everyone doesn't think that they're all going to open up at the same time.
Yes.
We'll talk about resorts in just a second. I know we had a question here. Diane wants to know about the resorts being open. We're going to hold that up for just a second, but we are going to get to that. The parks will be at limited capacity.
Yes.
So we're not going to talk about people like, I can't believe they're opening the parks. There's going to be all those people crowding in there. Well, it's sort of the same way.
No.
If you guys watched their video yesterday from the World of Disney opening up at Disney Springs, they were they had a very small number of capacity of people they let into the store.
Yeah.
Everyone else had to wait outside until those people left, and then they let a few more people in. And if you've ever been in the World of Disney during a normal day, it's elbow to elbow.
Yep.
So it's crazy to find some stuff when it's really, really busy. So the fact that they limited capacity meant that the store felt much bigger and there was a lot more space for people to spread out.
Yep.
Same thing's going to happen with the parks. They're going to limit capacity. We don't know the exact numbers at this point, but we do know that it's going to happen. And when that happens, we're going to I say Bugaloo Shrimp. Did I hear that it'd be limited to 30% capacity?
They haven't specified an exact number of
I haven't seen anything, but I do know that Shanghai.
Shanghai opened with 30% capacity. The thing to keep in mind about Disney parks when they talk about capacity, so most of the time when the park is operating, it's not anywhere close to full capacity. So,
Sure,
I mean,
Christmas.
you're talking Christmas and New Year's. That's capacity. So, so when they talk about lowered capacity, I know they're doing an incredibly conservative number, but they haven't listed exactly what that is. It's interesting because Universal also has not listed the exact percentage that they're limiting capacity. I think just because they have their own numbers that they've worked with as far as queue lines and how many people can safely fit in them with social distancing and just the general spacing throughout the park. And I don't know if you can necessarily set a percentage of capacity to that. And they don't want people.
Well, it's like even when you have not so scary Halloween parties, people
Yeah.
always want to know what's our capacity because it's
Yeah.
limited capacity for those parties as well. There will be. I don't expect it to go over 30%.
No.
And it may even be lower. But as things go on, I will say that we expect that as things go better, as we move further into the phase, just like at Shanghai, they will start to allow more people and more people in it at the future times.
Yes.
So we want to make sure that it goes well in the beginning so that we have better potential for having more guests come in a little bit later.
Yes.
Susan's over here checking to make sure that we're,
I'm sorry, guys,
we're
but
still
I'm
good.
not giving you my full focus.
We've got to make sure this information is good. So we've got 2 parks opening up. You will have temperature checks, just like at Disney Springs. You will have temperature checks. You will be required to wear a mask if you are above the age of 2. I think 2 and under are not required, or should they be wearing a mask at any point. If you are above the age of 2, you will be required to wear a mask. Lots of times we hear questions about whether or not there are exceptions.
My understanding of all of that I have read, and they did have some frequently asked questions that they did some answers to, and every time they wrap back around to they understand how difficult this might be for certain individuals to wear a mask, but they are requiring all to wear a mask for the time being and apologizing for that, but they are looking out for the safety and well-being of their guests and their staff. So ultimately, we have seen nothing saying they're going to make any exceptions for that. And honestly, I haven't seen any exceptions in Disney Springs either. They also talk about that everything's going to be just like at Disney Springs as far as requirements. So.
And it is interesting to note that in the official updates page that Disney's provided, and this is word for word, please bring your own face coverings and wear them at all times except when dining or swimming.
Yes.
So
if you're in the pool.
If you're in the pool and you're surrounded by chlorinated water, you're fine. The masks don't do much good when they're completely wet anyway.
They say face covering that's specifically how they. So if you have some other, like we've seen some that are like the loop of fabric that pull up over. We've seen some homemade that were like bandanas, and they have allowed those in Disney Springs. I think the important thing is that your face is covered, because ultimately all the talk that you hear about masks is
it has to cover the nose, it has to cover the face. It either has to wrap around your ears or tie around the back of your head.
Yeah.
There is another information in there. You cannot wear a character mask, so don't think that I can walk in and wear something I got off the Halloween costume, stuff like that.
No,
They've specifically said
that.
those are the same rules that they normally have. You cannot wear costumed masks, but they do want you to have something just
face.
It has to be just the lower half of your face. So they're not really specific about that. Connie had a question about park hopping, and we'll get to that in just a second. What I want to also bring up in the fact that we've got just the general rules we're always expecting is going to be the mask, the temperature checks, and the social distancing are always going to be required. Our dog has now decided that she's going to attack all of the moths that have been in the house as of recently.
We apologize for all the noise. It's just a giant pony puppy.
Well, your 130-pound dog is going to play as she wants to. So keeping on with that, here's some other information that Disney has made very clear. Park reservations, limited time capacity, park reservations will be required. And it says this. I'm going to read this because I want to make sure you guys get this. Initially, park attendance will be managed through a new park reservation system, which has not yet been released. And to enter a park, both a park reservation and a valid admission from the same park on the same date is required.
Okay, so guys, we just got confirmation of the information that we were holding back on. So let me just go ahead and go through this really quickly with you guys. And then we have some additional details that we're also going to share. Just the nice thing about being a travel agent is they give you extra details because you are helping to book clients and they want you to have the full info. So here's the deal. Right now, and some of you may have already noticed this because news dropped and perhaps you had a trip that was scheduled just outside of the days of opening or something like that, and you went to change your trip and you couldn't get anything to work. And maybe you even called in and they told you right now the system is down for magical enhancements. They have locked the system down. How they're referring to it right now is that it is temporarily paused for new ticket sales and Disney Resort hotel reservations. This allows them to focus on the guests with existing tickets and reservations during the opening dates. Existing ticket holders and annual pass holders are going to be able to make reservations for the theme park to enter the theme parks before any new tickets are sold. So that's kind of where they're going with this. They have said that they will be opening the system back up, but they have not given a specific time for when that's going to happen. I have a whole list of clients right now that are waiting for that because they want to make changes. I cannot even make cancellations right now. Everything is locked down. And that is just what they're doing right now as they evaluate the number of guests they have, which resorts they're in, all of that information. They're just taking that into account so that when they open, they are taking accurate care of all of their clients. So they're going to resume new ticket sales and Disney Resort hotel reservations after a period of time. And like I said, they haven't told us what that will be, but that's where it stands right now. They are going to have, as we mentioned, a limited capacity, and they are going to have allow you to book, make a reservation to enter the parks. This will be by reservation only, so you're not going to be able to just show up at the park on a day or with a ticket or an annual pass and hope to get in. If you don't have a reservation for that park for that day, you will not be allowed admittance. So you have to have both a ticket and you have to have a reservation. Additionally, you're not going to be able to make a reservation for one of those dates if you do not have an annual pass or a ticket purchase. So this is kind of where it's the benefit to already have an existing reservation with tickets or already be an annual pass holder. You're going to be able to grab those dates. We have been told right now that when they open those dates up, it's going to open up all the way through the end of the year. At one time, from July 11th through the end of the year, all those dates are going to open. So that's just something to keep in mind. Definitely you're going to want to jump on that if you're planning on traveling anytime through the end of the year. The other critical thing we want to talk about, okay, so this is dining. And just take a deep breath with me here, guys.
So I jumped over real quick to do a live just to make sure people on Instagram know how important this was. Brand new information. Guys, this is very, very new information.
So deep breath, okay?
This one's going to be rough. This one's going to be rough.
Take a deep breath with me, okay? Especially if you already have existing dining reservations or you have the dining plan or you had free dining. Take a breath with me.
Center.
Okay, we're centered. We're calm. Okay. They are doing away with the dining plan. Completely.
Well, it's all dining plan. Anyone who has the Disney dining plan right now, it's going to be canceled.
It's going away. So if you purchased it, it will be refunded to you, the difference in price. If you already had an existing package, they're going to, it's no longer going to be offered. Currently, what they're saying is through the end of the year. Obviously, that may change depending on how things are looking. This is simply because of capacity. They book for 100% capacity within their restaurants, and they're not going to be able to do that currently. They have to have limited capacity for that social distancing, which means that these existing reservations they had, do not
They're-
work. So
they're
let's
just-
just follow up with this. Not only is the dining plan gone, okay, another deep breath, guys. And I'm like, it hurts me because I have personal clients that this is affecting. If you have existing dining reservations that you have already made, they're going away.
Gone.
I am so sorry. I'm so sorry to tell you that. Disney did not want to do that, but there was just no easy way around this. And they're moving to a system that is much more like Disneyland. For our followers who are familiar with Disneyland and how it's different than Disney World books at 180 days, 6 months out. They're moving to a Disneyland system. They book at a 60 days. So at 60 days or when they open this back up, because this will open up at a yet undetermined date, very similar to what they did previously, they will allow you to book dining reservations, but the maximum time out will be at 60 days. So I am so sorry, Skipper Box. We've already done the breathing in the paper bag.
We had to go through a lot. We knew about this information ahead of time, but we couldn't share it just yet. But we already had our little, rocking in the corner and kind of to deal with the situation. So I'm just make sure I'm covering this. If you guys haven't seen this, I'm going to read this word for word so you guys are hearing this and we're not twisting it.
No.
Dining and experiences in order to foster physical distancing during this time. Upon reopening, which is July 11th for MK and AK, July 15th for Epcot and Hollywood Studios. Upon reopening, let's see, we have made the jump. I went back. Upon reopening, our offerings, restaurants, and other experiences such as behind-the-scenes tours will be limited in capacity. Other experiences may remain closed. As a result of limited capacity, we have made the difficult decision to cancel all existing dining reservations and experience bookings, including Disney dining plans included in packages through the end of 2020, through the end of the year. Okay? We will reopen dining and experience bookings with more limited numbers closer to when the parks reopen. We will also shift from a 180-day, that's 6 months, booking window to a 60-day booking window for dining and experience bookings going forward to allow guests to make their plans closer to their visits. Everything is being wiped clean.
The slate's wiped clean.
The slate's been wiped clean. All your dining reservations have been closed. Everyone lost any of that kind of stuff. If you had any tours,
special tours, bippity boppity boutique reservations, all of those things are gone. And I'm so sorry. It hurts me to even talk to you guys about this, Marty.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry. Here's the good thing about this. If you are going to be traveling during these dates, capacity is going to be limited. They are going to reopen these back up, so you do have a chance to grab them again. My understanding is if you don't have a reservation for a park on a particular day, you're not going to be able to grab dining, and you're not going to be able to, so you're not going to be hunting it down as previously would be before people even knew what park they were going to be in, and everybody's just looking for that, Cinderella's royal table, and everybody's hunting that reservation. You will be looking for the day that you have a reservation to go in the park. Only that number of people will be searching. So it's going to be a much smaller number of people looking. So,
they're not looking at 6 months in advance. Now we're talking 60 days.
Yes.
2 months in advance. So everyone's going to start right back. It's almost as if, again, we're going to make everybody come back to the starting line.
Yes.
We're going to make less reservations available, and it needs to be within 60 days only. So when you're opening up your My Disney Experience app right now and you're noticing that Be Our Guest has now disappeared from October,
Yes.
that is why. If you had a tour for Keys to the Kingdom, it is gone.
Yeah.
Okay,
One of the thrill tours.
it's going to be reset.
And because those are prepaid experiences, that amount will be refunded to you in the form that you paid it. So if you paid it on a credit card, they will be refunding it back to you. If you paid with a gift card, Disney gift card, it will go back to that card. So just so you are aware of that, that money will be refunded to you. It's just like the Disney dining plan that we were just talking about. If you had that booked onto your package, it will be refunded back to you. So in addition to dining, okay, let's just move on and rip the Band-Aid off, okay?
By the way, how are you guys doing today?
We're so sorry, guys. We're so sorry. Okay, so fast passes. Fast Pass Plus, and extra magic hours.
Hey, let's just go ahead. As a result of the COVID-19 impact, the Fast Pass service, the Fast Pass Plus service in Walt Disney World will be suspended for the time being as we plan to use additional queue space to manage capacity at our attractions and maintain physical distancing. Fast Pass Plus for 2020 is gone.
Okay, so that's only 60 days out, obviously. So that could change at some point in the future. But if you had fast passes, they're gone, guys. I am so sorry. Now, the plus side of this is they are limiting capacity dramatically. So it may not be as big a deal. That is our hope, at least, is that, you're going to move fairly quickly through that queue line, because there are going to be a much smaller number of people within the parks waiting to ride rides. So
we will automatically cancel existing Fast Pass Plus selections and share any future updates on the service at a later date. No dates as of this point. Also, please note that upon reopening, extra magic hours will be temporarily suspended. This is a new world. We're dealing with a different thing for the moment, and we're going to have to bring ourselves back to where we were before.
This is a little more like all the fancy things, guys, and let's just go ahead and also, as we're talking about fast passes and scheduling for parks, the other item that is going away for the time being for the same reasons as they're doing everything else, social distancing and being able to guarantee admittance into parks and make sure they don't have too many people within the parks at any given time, there will, for the time being, no longer be park hopper privileges available.
So, Connie, if you're still watching, I believe it was Connie who asked the question, will we be able to hop from one park to the other?
Not currently.
With the new reservation system, they are going to be not only limiting capacity, but because of that capacity limitation, they are not going to be allowing anyone to jump from park to park.
You will be able to exit and leave and re-enter the same park, but they will no longer allow you to hop from park to park. So if that's something that you commonly do, you'll have to just adjust your plans a little bit, one park per day. If you have purchased park hopper tickets, just like with the Disney dining plan, they are going to refund the difference to
you. Get money back.
You get money back.
There we go. There's suspense. Silver lining. All right.
It's going to cost you less money. So they will be returning that money to you, just like with the Disney dining plan, in the same manner that you paid it. So if you have a package that you have not yet paid for, then the price difference is going to come down on that. You're not going to have to pay as much to pay off your balance. So just so you know what, Skipper Bobs, we don't park hop a whole lot. I mean, when we we understand. I don't even feel like I'm old. It's just
I don't know though. You guys know me. When it comes to some of the things I do to try to get you guys information, it's not uncommon for me to start off in Epcot. I'll walk over to Hollywood Studios, grab some stuff in Hollywood Studios, take the Skyliner back over, or get on a bus and hit the Magic Kingdom and try to get some. I do park hop every so often just to get some stuff.
But when we're just doing our own day in the parks, we do generally tend to stick to one park.
Yeah, if it's just us doing family days, we tend to get the most out of one park.
And honestly, generally, it's what I recommend with my clients as well. One thing that you're probably wondering about is the parties. So right now, Disney has not decided about the parties yet. They are not giving any information about them currently. I will say you are not currently able to book them, just like you're not able to book anything else.
Well, nobody can book anything.
Nobody can book anything right now.
And this is why. This is why we've got to start. We've got to wipe it all clean and start over again. So
they are crunching numbers, making sure that they are not overpromising. And I do appreciate that. There would be nothing worse than going to Disney, showing up, thinking that you were going to have a particular experience, and then they're not able to deliver that for you. So they are trying their best to give their guests the best experience possible in these current circumstances and not overpromise. And I really do appreciate that.
But I do. Here's the thing: Disney knows how much we love the Not So Scary Halloween parties.
Yes, it's our favorite
The very
thing.
Merry Christmas parties, a Boo to You parade, and a Mickey's Once Upon a Christmas Time parade.
His favorite, my favorite.
Gotta have them, you know.
Yes.
So
Yes.
right now, let's not get too worried about those just yet. When the reservations open back up, we're going to see about what that's going to happen and how they're going to modify those, if any.
Yeah.
We do know that when the parks reopen, they are going to not have fireworks in the very beginning. They're not going to have parades. They're not going to have anything that requires clusters of people being close knit into one area.
Yes.
So the question is by the time we get to the Halloween parties and the Christmas parties, have we moved far enough along to something will change? Very likely. So let's not make any ideas of what that's going to be just yet. But Tremaine, yes, I know it hurts. It really does. Especially for us, you guys, we went to so many Halloween parties last year, and we had so much fun doing it with you guys. The idea that we can't do that, we don't want to even think about it right now. We've got too much to process, but for now, there's not yet canceled, and we're going to continue to keep on and moving on with that. The other thing is, you already talked about, real quick while I walked off, you talked about the reservation system, right?
We did, that it was locked down and that they have said it will open back up. But
About the actual reservations for the park, though?
No, it's going to be made through My Disney Experience, all of those reservations, just like you would for dining or for fast passes in the past.
We don't know when that reservation system is going to open up, but here's another thing to keep in mind. If you want to go to a park on a certain day, when they open it up, think about this, and this is a really good thing that Adam brought up, and thank you, Adam, for this analogy.
Yes.
The reservations to actually attend and get into a Disney World park will become the new Fast Pass. In order to get into a park, you will have to be able to say that I have reserved, first come, first served, a space for that day for that particular park. No park hopping, and if you don't get a reservation for that day, then you don't get to go to the park that day. And that's going to make a huge difference. We have heard different things about whether or not there's going to be priority for those who are staying in a resort hotel.
Yeah, so we've heard conflicting information about that. What I will say is the information that they've just announced publicly does say that they are going to, that existing ticket holders and annual pass holders will be able to make theme park reservations before any new tickets are sold. So I would say that there is a good possibility that My Disney Experience option to make those reservations may open before they unlock their system. And the word on the ground that we're hearing, guys, is this is not going to be a quick thing. This is not like, oh, the day after tomorrow, their system is going to unlock. That's not what's happening here right now.
And when we get more details and we know about what's happening with the reservation system, we're going to come back on with you guys, provide more information, and we want to talk about this again.
Yeah.
So this, we
will definitely update as information comes on, but we just don't want you guys to be like hyper tense and like you're having to constantly focus on information because you're going to miss it, because tomorrow morning, My Disney Experience is going to have this new thing that you're going to have to jump on and grab. They are having to build in a whole new section for My Disney Experience that allows you to do this. So this is just, it's all new. But I feel really confident that Disney is taking the time to focus and just give us what we need. So the other thing that I will point out is that if you've recently made reservations that are in this system now locked up and you're like, oh my gosh, I do not even want to deal with this anymore, please, someone do it for me. There is a distinct possibility, depending on when you booked, that we could help you with that. So if that's something that you are just done with, you don't want to deal with the stress of this, and I completely understand, oh my goodness, it's stressful for us and for our clients as well, and you want to be able to just release some of that burden.
As Toy Story said, you've got a friend in us. So
yes.
If that's something we can help you guys out with,
please
contact us.
We would be happy to help you.
Information is down in the captions of this video and any of our other videos. We'll be glad to help you guys out. That's what we do. We've got several clients that we're helping. We're going to be holding hands and going through this. It can be difficult, but we'll be glad to help you guys with that. So just let us know if that's something that we can be helpful. We can help you guys with as far as
it's good to have
forward.
someone in your corner.
I did. We had another question, a couple of questions, and it's not that I didn't see it, but Sue has been asking. Our trip was a bounce back offer. How will we be compensated?
So this is something that probably you're going to need to directly communicate with Disney, or if you have a travel agent, have them communicate. A lot of what we're hearing. So, for example, there are a lot of we have several clients right now that were booked over the summer with free dining. There is no longer a dining plan, right? So that's going away, and our understanding is for that circumstance, they are offering a room-only type compensation. If you just decide, you know what, I don't want to deal with this anymore, and I'm going to go to other dates, I haven't seen anything that necessarily, outside of the free dining specifically, that offers any sort of compensation if you move. Possibly, they may move your bounce back offer with you. We have occasionally seen that in the past, but I have not heard anything.
We can't guarantee any of that just at this moment. A lot of this stuff is fluid.
Yeah, that would definitely be something that you just want to have a conversation with them about and see how that happens. We haven't gotten specific information about that type of detail and anything, really any type of discount outside of trying to compensate for the lack of the dining plan for those that have the free dining plan as the package that they had booked. The other thing that you guys will want to know, and I had to actually see a couple of questions in the stream along the way about resorts and which resorts will be open and how that's going to be handled. So let's talk about that for a minute. So as they had previously announced yesterday, DVC resorts are opening starting June the 22nd.
And you're thinking about DVC resorts. We're talking about Animal Kingdom Lodge, Beach Club, ones that were specifically...
Bay Lake Tower, Grand Floridian, the Polynesian. They're all deluxe level
Wilderness
hotels.
Lodge.
The Wilderness Lodge, Old Key West, Saratoga Springs.
So those will be opening up June 22nd.
Yes.
Now, some of you are going, well, wait a minute. The parks don't open up until the 11th of July. Why June 22nd? Well,
DVC, individuals who have Disney Vacation Club points have purchased timeshare that doesn't necessarily have anything to do with the park specifically.
They just want to get away. They want to have some time with their family. And it's time to hit the pool and time to have some fun. And we're going to get away from wherever we're at. So we're going to go.
So they did open those dates up for DVC members to be able to use their points, but they won't have any availability to the parks necessarily. So here's the deal. What we're hearing on the ground, and we haven't seen any written confirmation of this, but what we're hearing is that they will not have all the resorts open when the parks open.
Well, think about it. You're going to have limited capacity in your parks. If you're not guaranteed that you're going to be able to get into a park, there's not going to be a point where they're going to all of a sudden find that all of the hotels are going to...
Not a lot of people are just going to want to go hang out at the resort, especially if it's not one of the deluxe level resorts that has a lot of amenities.
And with their cast members, the idea is they're not going to sit there and fully staff every single one of the 20-plus resorts, knowing that only a very small fraction of them will be filled. So I think it's in their best business decision at this point that they're going to make a decision that only certain of the resorts will open. Your first question is, well, wait a minute. What if I've already reserved a reservation at a non-DVC resort, and I find out that when I'm supposed to get there at the end of July that they are not going to open my particular resort? Good news with that. You're covered. This is going to take care of you. You will be moved over to a either
equal or
better resort.
Yes.
So if you are staying at a moderate resort, it's very possible.
Maybe they don't have any moderate rooms available.
You might be moved over to one of the DVC deluxe villas.
Yes.
Who knows? Or if you're already staying in a deluxe resort, then more than likely you're going to find yourself in one of the deluxe DVC rooms. Which are very nice.
Yeah, they're very nice. We love them
That's
all.
why we're
We've
DVC
seen
members.
almost all of them at this point. I would just add, so say for example you're at one of the AllStars and those happen to not be open, but maybe Pop Century is.
You're going to get an upgrade.
You're going to get an upgrade. So that's a good thing. So just keep that in mind. Don't stress about that. What we're hearing is they are going to take care of their existing guests. So even if the resort you've booked isn't available, you're going to get the opportunity to have something amazing. So I don't think, it's, and that's a good thing. So
Skipper Bob wants to know what resort they're going to put the NBA in.
I know, right?
I'm going to say AllStar Sports.
okay,
No
let's be
way.
honest.
No
There's no
way.
way they're putting them there. But and all I've heard is there has been talk between NBA about the possibility of them. We've
Can
seen
you imagine?
no
Can you
confirmation
imagine
of that yet.
if the NBA teams were on the floor above you and the all night long, all you can hear is the dribble and the dribble and the dribble?
Forget
But-
that. Can you imagine the NBA people being scattered about at your resort and you have stars everywhere? And I'm sure that's why Skipper Bob's asking, because he would like
I
to
wanna
be
be
in that
there.
resort.
Can you imagine having a Disney autograph book and it's filled with nothing but NBA players?
Okay, here's an interesting. Marty was just asking. If you have an existing reservation that's after their opening dates, you're good. Don't stress about that.
So Marty's got a reservation at the Beach Club late July. Is it only for DVC members? If it's open and you've got a reservation for there,
you're good.
you're probably good, but do not be surprised if when you get there they decide that they're going to put you in another deluxe resort. Just depending on how things go, because they don't know what their capacity is going to be.
Yes.
But you will be covered, and you still should be able to go there.
Mm-hmm.
So a 7-footer fitting in one of those beds. Well, that would be
Skipper
that would
Bob,
be
you're cracking me up.
that would be hilarious. They're gonna have to put two beds together just so they won't fall off the edge of the bed.
Yeah.
So
So that's just another thing to keep in mind. Obviously, things are going to look a little different for the short period of time, and it's going to be painful, a little bit painful for all of us who have experienced the magic that is a full-on Disney. So we completely understand any trepidation anyone's feeling, any stress you're feeling. The fact of the matter is, we are going to get through this, and we are going to all be better in the long run for it.
So we had a couple of questions. Some people jumped in here. Keto Fit Chef. Hey, it's my comments were showing up, so I'm just using my husband's. Okay, what about the advanced dining reservations for the rest of the year? That's something information we covered before. You can go back and check it. More information, but at this point they're resetting everything.
Yes.
So all advanced dining reservations between now and the end of the year have been canceled. They're gone. Okay. They will open things back up, but only people who have trips scheduled within 60 days will be able to make a reservation. So in other words, if I have a trip planned for the end of July, when they open things back up, I'm already within that 60-day window, but I'm going to have to redo everything as far as dining because now they have limited capacity. And also, some of the dining experiences will not reopen. So, guys, right now
it looks like when they initially opened, no buffets.
no buffets. There's
No
just no way for them to be able to do
dining.
that. So if there's a dining experience that's with dining, a character dining experience, a buffet of any kind, I don't see that they're going to be coming back in once things reopen.
Yeah.
So your Crystal Palace, which is what I posted a picture of earlier today,
Yes.
the Garden Grill, the Cape May Cafe for either breakfast or just a regular dining in the evening. They're not going to reopen them because they don't really know how to do the social distancing in a way that will be best following guidelines in the very beginning.
Yeah.
That's not to say, and this is all fluid, they can decide to open them up later in the year once they get something set up. But for now, do not be surprised that if you have a Cape May Cafe reservation and it's gone, you're getting within your 60-day window and you go to check to see it's not there. It's very likely that what's going to happen is they are going to have limited dining experiences. So just keep that in mind. Another question: are they canceled for the summer? Wondering about our trip later this year. All dining is going to have to be redone. And again, instead of 180 days, it's down to a 60-day window.
And they did cancel through the end of the year,
Yes.
Keto Fit Chef. So
Disney just announced they are canceling all dining experiences and fast pass reservations, and the governor hasn't even approved the plan. Universal was approved within 24 hours. Interesting. Yeah, and we were talking about that.
Yeah.
In fact, Universal was like within a day. I would not be surprised if. Here's the other thing, though. Universal delivered on a Thursday.
Yeah.
They were approved by the end of day on Friday by the governors. Tomorrow's Friday.
Yeah.
It may just be a day of the week kind of a deal. Who
Could
knows?
be.
I'm not surprised to see if we get an approval by tomorrow.
Disney's plan is
But-
obviously also much larger and more complicated. They have twice as many parks and all of their resorts. It's a very large number of resorts. So, I mean, all we saw in the meeting was just an overview of their plan. I'm sure it's very detailed, very lengthy. So, we're not feeling any stress about not hearing from the governor yet. So we'll be surprised if it's not.
Boogaloo Shrimp said they'll find a way to adjust the seated dining. I think that if they can open up Cape May Cafe where they just bring me a plate of steamed crab legs every 5 minutes, then
Yep.
I will be okay without the buffet.
I would love that.
That's
That would
just
be
me.
awesome.
That's just me.
It's all about the crab
Tremaine at
legs.
Disney, very good question, and I was really shocked that we hadn't got this question yet.
Yeah.
In November will be the Wine and Dine Run Disney event. There has not been any information right now about what will happen with Run Disney. This is how I'm feeling because I'm signed up for my very first half marathon
Yep.
for November. A lot of people are already asking, do I need to stop training? You know what?
First of all, training is good for you.
Keep training. It's better to train and not run than to not train and still
Then
run.
run.
So right now we have not heard anything official from Disney, but as soon as we hear anything, we are personally involved in the Wine and Dine, and as soon as we hear something about that, we'll make sure to share that information.
Yeah, but there has been no mention made of it thus far. Right now, anything other than dining and fast pass reservations, they haven't specified anything. Everything's short term other than that. So
when will reserve tickets go on sale? Later. That's all we know right now. We don't know we don't have a time frame. That makes us nervous because we want to get in there as well as far as getting into the system and making sure that we and our clients are taken care of as far as travel.
Yep.
That's going to be really hectic in the very beginning because we want to make sure that all of our clients get in, but we're also trying to get in. We're going to be getting all of us in there. So when we hear word or we hear something, we'll be sharing that with you as well. And it may be a situation, hopefully they'll give us a little bit of a heads up on that, but we don't know it at this point.
And all of their wording, just the way they've worded it says, and I'm just looking back over it just as I'm saying this, I've read it like 20 times now, but I just want to make sure. But the way that they're wording this really makes it sound like that new My Disney Experience section that will allow you to make reservations for the park is going to be open before they open it up for any new ticket sales, because they are giving those guests the first opportunity to make reservations before they sell any additional tickets. So just kind of keep that in mind if you're wondering. So, I mean, as soon as we hear any specifics, we'll definitely pass them on to you. But
that's what we love to do. Just like now, this is so much information. There's no way I was going to be able to put this into a Facebook and an Instagram post and be able to give you everything. So I'm like, this is something we're going to have to...
And we knew you guys would have
And let
questions.
us know, real quick, if you guys enjoy this, if this is something good that you find it beneficial, do us a favor. Give us a thumbs up on the video. Give us a comments, later on.
Share it with
that's
your
very
friends.
it's very helpful to us because we know what if this is something we need to continue doing.
Yeah.
Because this is a lot of information to put into 200 characters, and I just tell you, it's just too much.
We just wanted to make sure that you guys had the opportunity to get all of the information, and that if you had questions, you had the opportunity to ask them. We may not have the answer to your question right now, but we are noting your questions so that when additional information comes out that answers some of those questions, we're going to post it. We're going to do new videos. We're going to do posts on Facebook, and we're going to do posts on Instagram. Make sure that you guys are in the know. That is why we do what we do, so that you guys don't have to stress about keeping up with all that information, because we're going to do it for you.
So Gina wanted to know, this is we talked about this a little bit earlier. The park reservations, will it be like getting a fast pass, first come, first serve? Yes. It's actually what we talked about before.
Yes.
It's a great analogy. Park reservations are going to become the new fast pass. If you want to get into a park, you get in one park per day, and if you don't get that reservation, then at that point you don't get in the park. Now, because we don't know how fast and how the staggered phasing will happen as far as how many they allow in moving forward, because Shanghai Disney is starting to let more and more guests in each day. They may get to a point where they open up reservation for Hollywood Studios for August 25th. Okay. You don't get in. Now, that's not to say that when we get around the 1st of August, things are going really well and they decided to start adding
capacity.
You guys have done this before. Have you ever noticed that before you try to get a fast pass and somehow you couldn't get a fast pass for something, but like a week before, all of a sudden new fast passes get added? It's very possible that that's going to be a situation as things go scattered and things get rephased, opened, and a little bit more and more. So I don't want you guys to get discouraged if the park reservation opens up and you don't get the park day that you're looking for, especially if you've already got a trip planned. Let's say you're going for a weekend in September and you've got 3 days and you only get park reservations for 2 of your days. You're like, great, I'm going to not be able to go the 3rd day. This is something you can continue to look for and see if that will help out.
So Connie, you were asking, you say you booked in November and you were wanting to know if you're going to be able to get into the parks every day. So this is how it's been explained to us right now. And this could change, just as we've already talked about. Perhaps they'll open up capacity. Perhaps they'll relax rules. It won't be such an issue. Right now, it is first come, first serve. Once they've reached capacity for reservations, they're done. If you did not get all of your days, unfortunately, there's no way for them to tweak that. Those capacity numbers are a safety thing, kind of like a fire code in their mind. They're not going to flex that like they might for
It's not like a DVC Magic Moonlight Magic Party where you try to get in, like we've done several times, and not been able to get into certain parties, and that somehow you can find a friend who had an extra reservation, or you can call them up and go, "This didn't work out," and they, "Oh, look, we're going to sneak you in," or something like that. Right now, it's not going to be that situation. So when the reservation opens up for your park, especially if you have a trip in November, try to get them as fast as you can. Get in there, and if not, don't get too nervous to see if things change. Maybe, like I said before, they will open up some more reservations as you get closer.
It's a nice thing about having dates farther out that you're
November,
traveling
you've got a
is
lot
that
better
you've got
outlook.
a little cushion. Perhaps the capacity will be relaxed a little bit, and they will open up more spaces. And this is when you want to have your husband, your wife, your older teenage son, your 12-year-old who is a tech maven, all helping you to get that done. That would be my recommendation, because it is definitely going to be one of those instances where if you don't have the reservation, you will not get into a park. Now, that being said, the resorts are lovely. And I will say, honestly, especially for a longer stay, I actually recommend to my clients that they take a break in the middle.
Day.
So maybe as you're trying to grab those dates, maybe focus on the end and the beginning. And then if you miss a couple of days in the middle where you can have a resort day and you can enjoy the amenities there, you can go to Disney Springs, have a relaxing meal, sleep in a little bit. So, that's just something, a possibility.
And for all of those Disney executives who are watching this live stream right now, I need you to go ahead and put mute and take your headphones off and not listen. Okay, no one's listening from Disney. Great. Okay, you have 4 days that you have a reservation coming up, and for some reason you don't get 1 or 2 days into the park reservation at the beginning. Call us up. We'll get you Universal Studios tickets. We'll find something else for you to do.
There are other parks in Orlando. Okay,
That's their loss,
Disney
right?
People didn't hear it, but. Yes, absolutely. So if you need
just trying to find the idea. I don't want you to be completely discouraged about your vacation being completely ruined. We'll find, we'll help you find something else.
Uber or Lyft drive over like 20 minutes from Disney to Universal and have a fun day at Universal.
We'll get you on the Icon Park wheel and the big giant tall no-no swings. So
experience a little bit of Harry Potter magic instead of the Disney magic.
Yeah, we'll tell you how to get the wands, and we'll show you how to get the wands interactive done.
Yep.
One of the other questions: are they not guaranteeing? Sue, this is a question: are they not guaranteeing park admission for existing reservations?
No, they are not.
It is a first come first serve. When they open up the new reservation system, it will not be where if you have a room reserved that you are guaranteed park entry. No, you will have to be in the same system, jumping in to grab your spot as anyone else is. They will say though at this point that if you already have a reservation, or if you already are an annual pass holder or something like that, when they open it up, you'll have better chances of getting in as opposed to someone who's just deciding to buy tickets now, because you're going to have that advance.
Well, and you can't buy tickets now, so you would wait. And like I said, the wording makes it sound like they may very well open up that system to existing individuals first, now, and then
I am a little worried. And let's just be honest. Let's be truthful. We're all friends here. We're all going to be honest about things. I do know that the first day that Shanghai Disneyland opened up, they opened up on a Monday morning. They opened up ticket sales and their reservation system on the Friday before.
Yes.
It was gone within minutes.
Yes.
It is very possible that will happen. That if you're thinking, I've got to be there on July 11th, I got to be there on July 15th, it is very possible, as very small capacity, we're not going to be able to get in. And so if not, you can join us. We'll all be hanging out, somewhere nearby and just kind of looking in over the
I'm
wall.
thinking we might need to just visit a water park. Perhaps we shall head over to Universal and play in their water park.
Go to
because
Volcano Bay.
here is a fun thing about Volcano Bay. they don't want you to wear a mask while
Yes,
you're
if you're
in the
swimming or in a water
on
slide, you
water
cannot wear a
slide.
mask. So
So I'm thinking I'm just going to go over to Volcano Bay and settle myself into their wave pool.
play with the
and
tapu tapus.
relax. Yes, play with the tapu tapus. And just and have a lovely day. There is lots of fun still to be had. And as we go over the next few weeks, month and a half, we are going to make sure to share all of that information with you guys, be it Disney, Universal, SeaWorld, all of the different things we've been exploring. There are lots of other fun things to do here in the Orlando area. And so we are going to be exploring those and sharing them with you so that you guys have lots of ideas about how to make the most of your fun if you are planning on traveling in the near future to this area.
A couple of more questions. Do you guys have resort ticket packages with the same 300-day refund policy as before? Because if I can't get my park reservation, I would want to cancel my trip.
Everything that I'm reading about cancellation policies right now, they are being very liberal with them. So if you're buying tickets in isolation, that's going to be a more difficult thing. But if you're buying tickets as part of a package, then yes, that 30-day policy definitely comes into play. If you haven't paid in full for your package, the same cancellation will apply. So, and you should know if they're opening up dining reservations at 60 days, supposedly they're going to open up for the end of the year once they open up reservations for parks.
Yeah, we have heard that when they open up the reservations, they are going to open up for the entire year.
Yes, for through December 31st.
It's not going to be just opening up 60 days at a time. That's a
Yeah.
little overwhelming, especially in the fact that, say, for instance, when making fast passes as an annual pass holder, I can only make fast passes for 7 days.
Yeah.
If I find out that later on that annual pass holders can reserve days, but they can only reserve 7 days out of the next 6.5 months, that will, for us who share this experience with you guys on a regular basis, will be very disheartening.
Difficult for us
Yes.
to share the magic with you
But
guys.
we know that it's going to, when that reservation becomes available and we can share it, if we can give you any kind of heads up, please check it back in with us. We'll probably try to do this more often so we can give you guys some heads up and try to help you guys as much as possible, because we're all trying to do and make the best that we can for our vacations and what we do. And what is the current cancellation policy of a room only?
Room only can be canceled up to 5 days in advance with no penalty. Honestly, like I said, in these current situations, they're being very generous with their cancellations. So you would have plenty of time if you had a room only to make your decision and decide whether or not you wanted to still travel.
So we've been on with you guys. I don't know how long we've been on. About an hour and a half.
Yeah.
No, not an hour and 15 minutes.
Hour 15.
Again, this is a lot of information. Thank you guys so much for coming on and jumping on
you.
and chatting. It's really great to talk with you guys one-on-one. I like to do YouTube videos because it gives you guys more information and more stuff. I tell Susan when we do stuff, sometimes my videos turn out to be 45 minutes. I'm like, whoa, that's too long.
Crazy.
I try to cram it down as much as possible. I know some YouTubers, they only try to do like 15 minutes, maybe 10 minutes. And I'm like, but this is good stuff. This is good for them to see. And I want to experience stuff and allow you guys to be able to experience it too. But this kind of stuff, there's just no way in the world you can get it in 10 minutes and really get all this information. So
we want to make sure that
thank you guys so
have
much for kind of jumping in and spending the last hour with us. Well, a couple of things if we could ask you guys to do to help support us. Make sure you like the video for us. If you think this is good information and you know someone who's planning on going to Disney World, do us a favor when this is done. Grab the link and
share it.
Send it to them so they can
Yes.
watch it as well.
Yeah.
And if they have any questions, they can send us emails and send us some messages through Instagram or Facebook as well.
If you have questions that we haven't answered yet, say if you are watching this as a recording right now and we are not live anymore and you have a question, feel free to put it into the comments or you can contact us directly. We are happy to answer any questions that you might have, anything that you're just not certain about. We may not have the answer, as we've mentioned previously, but we will definitely do our best to try to assist you. So you can either put it in the comments, you can go to our Facebook, you can go to our Instagram, you can contact us directly via email, susanedwards@travelmation.net, chrisedwards@travelmation.net. We are happy to help in any way that we can. We want to try to take the stress out of this for you guys. It's one of the reasons that we created Ear to Ear Magic is to make travel less stressful for families. So,
And for us, it's not about clickbait. The clicks and all that don't really mean as much as getting the information into you guys. and we try to be as fair and try to explain it as much as we can from our point of. There's positives and negatives to everything, but thank you so much for kind of sharing this experience
Thank
with us.
you.
So it's been a lot of fun, even though it's a really kind of rough news, and it's been rough. I mean, let's just be honest. This is not exactly Disney magic right now,
Painful,
but
painful, guys.
everybody
We're feeling
is
your
dealing
pain.
with this. There are people on the West Coast right now in Disneyland going, "I just want the park to open," and we get that. We just want Disney World to open. It will slowly in stages. As
Yeah.
everyone comes in, we follow the rules, things get better. We have full expectations that we're going to make our way and more closer. The idea of saying this is the new normal, I don't agree with that. I don't think this is the new normal. I
Yeah.
think this is the normal. This
For
is the
now.
new current.
Yeah.
This is the new
This is the new
situation.
for now.
We're going to move forward and we're going to make our way. Because you know what? Next year is going to be the 50th anniversary of Disney World. And it's going to be a huge party.
It's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
We are excited about that. We are excited to just get into the parks, guys. Every single little bit of Disney that we've been getting lately has been amazing. Every cast member that we have talked to, we just value every moment of that time. And so we are just so excited to get back to it. And we are going to be right there with you guys every step of the way, sharing it with you and being there for you as you need us.
So great Thursday night talk. Maybe we'll do this again in the future. I would love to be able to do this on a more regular basis. Maybe we can start a lot more streaming with you guys. Love to answer questions. So this is us, Ear to Ear Magic. Thank you so much. And very soon, very, very soon, we hope to see you guys in the parks.
Yes.
Have a great night, and we'll catch you next time.